Here as Navarro's going to prison today. You guys will certainly focus on that little story, but what I suggest to you as journalists is that there's two really bigger stories that you might want to report on and even do some research on, because these are big issues. This is not about me. One of the big stories is about what is really an unprecedented assault on the constitutional separation of powers and the doctrine of executive privilege as a critical tool dating back to George Washington of effective presidential decision making. When I walk in that prison today, the justice system, such as it is, will have done a crippling blow to the constitutional separation of powers and executive privilege. The second and related story has to do with the emergence of lawfare and the partisan weaponization of our justice system, which we have seen come to this country with a vengeance since the coming of Donald John Trump as president, and that keeps getting worse. So let me walk you through those two stories, and again, I'm hoping as journalists you will do some background, some research. I'm asking you to fact check everything I say today, and write the bigger stories here, which I think are the important ones. So let's talk about some facts here. I am the first senior White House advisor in the history of our republic that has ever been charged with this alleged crime. And I say alleged because for hundreds of years, this has not been a crime, and for 50 years, the Department of Justice has maintained the principle of absolute testimonial immunity. And it was only with my case that somehow that has changed. And here's where the homework is, because the big constitutional separation of powers are these. Can Congress compel a senior White House advisor, what they call the alter ego of a president, to testify before Congress? And executive privilege goes back to George Washington and his remarks to the Congress regarding the Jay Treaty. And he said very simply and clearly, succinctly, elegantly, that to write to the Congress, he said, I cannot command you as members of Congress to come to me. You cannot command me to come to you. And the reason is the
All right, and he will be reporting to that prison 2 p.m. Eastern time there in Miami to serve his 4-month prison sentence. He began by saying, not about me. He said this is about a crippling blow to the justice system. To fact check there, it is no longer an alleged crime that he'll be serving this 4-month sentence for. He has obviously been convicted, and there was no evidence that would have excluded him per executive privilege from testifying. So John Roberts just on Monday refused to delay his prison time. He continues to appeal his conviction, Peter Navarro, for refusing to testify before Congress for his involvement in efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. 74 years old, 4 months, Peter Navarro on his way to prison, speaking on his way there. All right, meanwhile, right now,